Chapter 38, Grayson. When the guys and I get to fifth quarter, everything's in full swing. Since we shower after the game, we're always the last ones here. Lynn's in the middle of a card game with Andrew and his friends, and some of the guys from the baseball team. There's an empty chair next to her, so I start to head that way. Daniel stops me to talk about the plans for tomorrow and about the game we played. By the time I get him to walk with me to the table, Josh Wicks is sitting next to Lynn. Daniel and I sit in the only two open seats that are on the other side of the table. For the next hour, I get a front row seat to Lynn and Josh flirting. I know if I said anything, Lynn would say she's only being friendly. She'd deny that Josh is still into her because he briefly dated a girl from the softball team this summer. In my opinion, he only did that to get over Lynn, and they broke up when the other girl realized he was still hung up on Lynn. Now that he's moved on, in Lynn's eyes, though, they're back to being overly friendly. She avoided him in the weeks after they broke up, but has gone back to acting like she was before they dated since he had a different girlfriend after her. Regardless of what Lynn might say, it definitely looks like Josh wants to get back together. This is the last thing I need. I already have the Mark issue to deal with, but having someone else fighting for Lynn's attention is a complication I don't want to deal with. Lynn has never gone back out with someone after they broke up, so maybe that means Josh isn't a threat regardless of his intentions, but there's a first time for everything. I don't know, and I don't know how to get Lynn to notice me as more than a friend. Oliver was dared to kiss Lynn during a truth or dare game, which is what led to them dating. Daniel has always been Lynn's best friend, so it makes sense he was her first crush. I'm not sure how Tristan got out of the friend zone. Maybe I should ask him. Flirting with Lynn doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. She flirts back, but we've always had a friendly, flirty relationship. I've definitely had enough girls complain about my relationship with Lynn to know we're closer and more physically affectionate than most friends. I wonder if those girls would keep doing that if they realized that it always ends their relationship with me. Even before I had a thing for Lynn, I didn't want to be with anyone who's going to say anything negative about her or want me to stop hanging out with her. I've leaned more into the flirty side of my relationship with Lynn, but I don't think she's even noticed. I feel like I need to do something bigger to get on her radar, but I don't know what. The whole not being allowed to initiate anything rule is a major pain. When the group moves to play video games, I'm hoping this is my chance to sit next to Lynn and get her to focus on me instead of Josh. Oliver and Daniel have other plans, though. As soon as I get up, they steer me into one of the classrooms off to the side of the fellowship hall. What are you doing? I'm seriously annoyed with them getting in my way with Lynn. Daniel crosses his arm. Better question is, what are you doing? You need to be patient and wait until after the dance to even try to get Lynn looking your way. You don't need to be mooning over her or glaring with hate at any guy who's next to her. I'm not mooning or hate glaring. I roll my eyes. If you were glaring any harder, I'm pretty sure Josh would have caught fire. Daniel stares me down. You couldn't be more obvious if you were trying. Oliver's tone is less confrontational than Daniel's. What's up with getting all jealous of Josh? You know they're just friends. And Lynn never goes back to someone she's broken up with already. I'm not jealous. I just don't like him being all over Lynn. Josh isn't all over Lynn. He's flirting a little with her. We all know Lynn can take care of herself. If she had an issue with the flirting, she could and would take care of it. Daniel sounds as fed up with this conversation as I feel. It seems more like you're upset she doesn't seem to have a problem with it. I run my hand through my hair in frustration. They just don't get it. Is it so wrong that I don't want to watch Lynn being cozied up with some other guy when I'm into her? Oliver steps between me and Daniel. Lynn is just being friendly. You need to chill. There's no reason for you to get jealous. Besides, if Lynn notices that you're jealous, that's only going to make her less likely to want to start something with you. In case you forgot, this afternoon we already discussed why you need to be patient and take things slow. I'm pretty sure I remember you agreeing to wait until after the dance to even start trying to get her attention. I know, but I already watched her be with Frost and Slater. I don't want to wait too long and miss my chance again. I don't want to watch her with another guy. You've liked her for that long? Oliver asked with surprise. Yeah, I mean, we've always been friends. I've always known how awesome she is as a person, but now it's more than that. I want to be with her and not just to make out for a couple weeks before moving on to someone else. I want to try and make it work long term. Daniel leans back against the doorframe. If you're invested in it for the long haul, then waiting a couple of days should not be that big of a deal. Rushing things is only going to make it blow up in your face. That's why I waited after she dumped Frost, but then she moved on with Slater before I could even try to throw my hat into the ring, I argue. Yeah, and that relationship lasted for 2 weeks, Oliver says. 2 weeks. If you don't want a 2-week fling, then you need to be patient. Pushing Lynn is not going to have a positive outcome. And then he adds quietly, worthwhile things are worth waiting for. Oliver looks a bit wistful. That gives me an idea. I decide to change topics to get them off my back. How are things going with Kaylee? I ask my brother. Oliver shrugs. The same, I guess. We talked about it at lunch. Other than Lynn inviting her to 5th quarter and her not coming, there isn't anything to tell. Oliver looks a little uncomfortable. He's never been comfortable being the center of attention. He's at least comfortable being around girls. For the most part, his past girlfriends were the ones pursuing him. Crushing on Kaylee and actively trying to get her attention is new territory for him. Did Lynn say why she didn't come? I ask. No, I haven't talked with Lynn about it. I only know Lynn invited Kaylee, and she obviously isn't here. It's probably for the best. I don't want Lynn giving her the 3rd degree in front of so many people. Oliver starts pacing. Do you think she'd do that, I ask? Stupid question. That's exactly what she'd do. Daniel rests his hand on Oliver's arm, stopping his pacing. Yeah, at least tomorrow there'll be less people there. When Lynn goes all overprotective mama bear during her FBI interrogation, only Callie and Sarah will witness it and have any idea that I like Kaylee. Oliver sounds unhappy. Lynn said she wouldn't interrogate Kaylee and wouldn't go overboard during girl time, I say, defending Lynn. I'm sure she said that. I'm less confident that she'll be able to follow through with that statement. Oliver rocks back and forth on from his heels to his toes. Best case scenario, Lynn and Kaylee hit it off, and Lynn will go into matchmaker mode. Either way, girl time is going to end with Kaylee knowing I like her. Maybe Mama Kingston will be so excited about Lynn having girl time that she'll commandeer the whole thing, and Lynn won't have an opportunity to interrogate Kaylee or play matchmaker. Daniel pats Oliver's arm to reassure him. I'm probably better off trying not to think about it and dealing with whatever the resulting fallout might be, Oliver says in a dejected tone. You act like Lynn is going to intentionally make things worse or cause problems. I'm starting to get mildly irritated with my brother. Oliver rolls his eyes. Lynn would never intentionally hurt me. I know that. I'm being real about how tomorrow is likely to go. Lynn's my friend too. No reason to get all up in arms about things. Yeah, you need to majorly chill, man. Daniel recrosses his arms. I get that you're into Lynn, but don't get mad at us because you can't have what you want right this second. Whatever, let's go back out there and do something other than discuss our feelings. I push through the door without waiting for them to respond. They may have a point, but I don't want to acknowledge it right now, so avoidance it is. Back in the fellowship hall, my eyes immediately find Lynn. She's sitting between Andrew and Kelly. I decide the best way to avoid another intervention from the Worry twins is to go somewhere Lynn isn't. Colton and some of the guys on the JV football team are playing knockout in the gym, so I go and join them.